Okay, so we should be live now. I guess we could wait 30 seconds for it to lag and actually show up to make sure.
Or will all this be on there anyway?
What?
Will us just, oh, there it is. Okay, it's working. All right, cool. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Leah, and I am originally from the US, but in the UK and desperate to talk to other Degrassi fans because they're few and far between over here across the pond. And yeah, I just reached out to you guys after listening, getting back into Degrassi and listening to the podcast during lockdown. And just thought it would be fun to join the conversation.
Yes, thanks so much. You reached out to the Instagram, right? And then Bridget sent me your message and I was like, oh my God, this is so cute.
Yeah, I slid into the DMs and didn't get a response for a while. So I was like, oh my God, they probably think I'm insane and have ignored me, but here we are.
Well, I think I don't have access to the Instagram because Bridget forgot the password. So I don't know how often Bridget goes onto our Instagram.
It's fine.
I
it's
go
all
on
worked
pretty
out.
often. I go on, but I apparently had the messages sent to I have to read them because they're like a request. It's not like it immediately goes in. So then I was like, oh, I actually have to look through the requests because I thought they were all bots, and I was like, no, it's everybody. So now I check, I promise. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have, let's see. If you're watching the live stream right now and you're not one of us because we are all also on there, feel free to post in the chat.
Nice. No, I think there's a few there, I think. But I mean, we could just jump right into it if we want. Anyway.
And that works.
Okay. So I kind of took the concept and ran with it. So we're doing what did you label it? Who wore it better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it. So I have there's general plots that kind of were pretty much the same, but then there's also overall ideas that I took. So for one example, I found was the emancipation plot of who did it better or who wore it better is Sean versus Peter in that one. So I don't know if that kind of falls into the category, but that was a thought that I had.
I feel like there's somebody else who I'm forgetting who also tried to do that.
To be emancipated?
Or they lived alone or something.
Zig did. He lived in
Zig was
the little shed house.
Zig was homeless. I don't think that's the same thing.
Yeah. Did Casey try anything?
Oh, that could. I don't think he was
thinking, what's her name from Degrassi Junior High?
Jasper.
Yeah.
No, I know. She's my favorite one. How did I forget her name?
Lucy.
No, not Lucy.
I know, it's the only one I can name.
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. What was her thing? I don't think she ran away from home, but her parents got divorced and her dad was annoying to live with, so she just moved out. I don't know if that's emancipation, but she was living by herself.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm not gonna count that one.
Yeah, it's because then Ellie moved out and lived with Sean, and yeah. But so between Sean and Peter, so Sean was he talked to his shop teacher or something about it, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Peter, I don't know. Peter just always seems very whiny to me, so I assume that he just was yeah, being annoying about it. But
Well, Peter, wasn't it Miss Hatzilakos moved to Regina and he didn't want to stay or he didn't want to go with her?
Yeah, he moved and then, or she moved or was going to move, and then he was like, I want to live in this like loft by myself, and then like talked to wasn't it it was Liberty's dad, right?
Yes, because he was
Yeah,
friends with
'cause
Danny.
he's a lawyer. Yeah.
I didn't he like have to help his dad like take care of his half sister or something, and
Oh my gosh,
he
yeah,
was like,
literally
I
what a
want to, yeah, I
mess.
live by myself.
Then he was like, Dad, don't treat her like you treated me.
So, I mean, I think Sean wore it better because that felt like he legitimately had more more issues, a more legitimate reason for emancipation.
Although
Oh,
they
I
actually-
totally agree. I do not think that
yeah, and they
Peter
also like
handled it well.
both got out of it kind of similarly. Because like Sean moved back, I guess, to Wasaga Beach after the whole shooting thing. And then Peter, his mom moved back after his whole meth episode.
Yeah, that
Okay.
whole thing.
That whole
So,
thing.
so they both kind of had like traumatic things happen to them that caused them to not be emancipated anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Sean did it better. I think he had more of a like genuine reason to do it, where Peter was more like, I don't want to do it because I don't want to move. Like that was pretty much it.
Yeah, like why couldn't Peter just like live with Danny, for example?
Well, Danny
Like,
graduated, right? Or no? Not at that point.
no, Danny and Peter were the same year.
Yeah, because he was like, I finally have friends again, and it was the band and him and Sav and Danny, I think.
Yes. Okay. I don't know where they were that he talked to Danny's dad then.
They were at graduation, but it was Liberty's graduation.
Okay. That's why I was confused. I was like, whose graduation was it? Also, someone said hi in the chat. So
Hello.
shout out to them.
Oh, I just had
Okay.
something else that I thought of. It was I lost it.
So emancipation, Sean did it better. The end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Staying on the Sean and Peter train, like I think this is the one that I put in the message, but I didn't realize until I was listening to you guys that it was the exact same storyline, which was the drug planting, which
Yes.
Peter did to Sean and Miles did to Zig for like the exact same reasons in both situations.
Well,
and
so
for a blonde girl.
so Miles didn't actually plant drugs in Zig.
Oh,
Zig's locker.
yeah. He lied and said that there were drugs in Zig's
Yeah.
locker, which was the same, like, but you know who else did it? Eli, right?
Well, it was
Didn't he lie?
Imogen.
Wait, who said that? Didn't someone say Fitz had drugs?
Yes.
Yeah, Eli.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
yes. But I was thinking Imogen. Okay, Eli wanted to plant drugs in Jake's locker to get Jake expelled.
Okay.
But he told Imogen to do it. And then Imogen put the drugs in Claire's locker.
So dumb, but that's funny. But I feel like, yeah, the two that probably like line up the most, I feel like, are the Miles and Zig, and then the Peter and Sean, even though Peter like actually got the drugs in there. I feel like it was just the same thing. Like weren't they at a dance too?
Yes, they were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and like because Peter was dressed up as a gorilla at the dance. This is all coming back to me because it was like a masquerade or something, and he was in trouble for the car racing, and then so he snuck out to the dance, and then Emma found out that about the drug situation and shoved him into a locker. So I think the gorilla suit alone puts Peter ahead, perhaps.
Well, because Zig wasn't actually expelled. Sean was.
Mhm.
So
True.
Peter was successful.
Yeah.
Peter was successful, and then didn't Emma stay with him too?
No, Emma broke up with him
No.
because of this.
But it was because of that? Okay. And then Maya didn't break up with Miles because of that, but it was at the dance.
I think she did break up with him, but then they got back together, of course.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, then forget it. They suck. I think the better planting then is the Peter and John planting.
Yeah.
I agree.
Somebody put that Imogen planted drugs in Claire's purse. That's what's happened.
Yeah.
Classic Imogen.
Is it classic Imogen though? Because
it's
her
classic,
personality
like
changes.
Classic Imogen from season. What season was that? 12.
That was 11.
11. Yeah. She's funny. That was a good one too. Jasper, do you have one in mind?
Well, the first thing I thought of when you told me the idea was the pregnancies. I mean, that's the only thing people talk about with Degrassi. They're like, how many pregnancies does this show have? It's
Did
like,
you
I don't
guys? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't think it's even true, but that's all people ever say about it.
Was it the same for you? Because when I started watching season 3, they didn't air, the abortion episodes, and I remember like seeing clips of it in the promos or something. So I went out and bought like season 3 on DVD so I could see those episodes.
That's awesome. That is dedication.
So I didn't start watching the show till season 10. So I think the abortion episode was not 10 anymore by that point.
So, okay, so we have Manny, we've got Liberty, who they gave the baby up for adoption, Mia, who kept her baby, and Casey and Jenna, who kept the baby for a bit, and Claire had a miscarriage.
Yes. I feel like it's kind of, I feel like we should maybe separate them by like the abortions versus the pregnancies. Because all the abortions are like just one episode, right? Whereas the pregnancies are kind of like season-long arcs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is there more than one abortion?
Lola.
Oh, yeah.
And also whichever twin it was in Degrassi Junior High. I think it was Erica.
Yeah.
But it might have been the other one. I forget.
Was Lola what season? Next season? No.
Lola was what?
What season was she?
She was Next Class season 3.
Okay, so Netflix aired that one.
Yeah.
Pretty spicy for Netflix. Good for them. But I mean, the Manny one is just iconic. Like, it was so iconic that they didn't even air it. So I feel like that is a pretty big deal. But the similarities in it is that it was both, I think, well, I don't know if it was the first time Manny had sex that she got pregnant, but it was from that, or no?
That what? It was her first time?
Yeah.
Well, I think she only had sex with Craig the once.
Yeah, because I think when they talk about it, he's like, oh, you said it was fine, so I didn't wear a condom. And she said it was fine because it was her first time.
Okay, because the similarity in that is that it also was Lola's too.
It was, yeah.
So that's like a pretty big similarity because, like, first of all, what are the odds that you get pregnant on the first time you ever do it? And then they also both decide to go and get abortions after.
So I don't remember Next Class as well. So who does Lola go? Does she go with anybody to the clinic?
Lola goes with Gail.
Oh, she goes with Gail, yes. Okay. I don't know why I thought she went alone.
No, Lola goes with Yael. And then Lola's is actually pretty unique because, like with Manny, for example, you don't see her at like the clinic or anything. But with Lola, you actually like, I don't think you see her get the procedure, but you see like the doctor talking to her before the procedure, like talking about how it works.
Mm.
So that was
Yeah,
like
but Manny
a big
does go
thing.
in with her mom, and then she asks about like, yeah, how people feel afterwards. I
Am I
think.
forgetting how the episode ends for Manny?
I think
I thought
she is in the clinic, or she's in a room when she's like talking about it.
Yeah, she's not like in any procedure room or anything
Right,
like
right,
that,
right.
which I think they do it more.
Right. I was thinking the episode ends in like the hallway or something, right? With Emma and Craig. Is that how the episode ends?
That was after she did it. I'm pretty sure.
Or yeah,
Isn't
maybe
that where
that's
like
the end
Emma
of.
stands? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Isn't that where like Emma stands up for Manny?
Yes. But that
I
is
don't
when
think.
that Manny doesn't do it until the end of the episode.
So I think that's the end of part 1. It's in the hallway, probably,
Maybe.
and the end of part 2.
But yeah, I guess my point was like Lola, you actually like have her in the procedure
Mm.
and the doctor's talking to her about how it works. And like the line that I really liked was Lola asked something like, how many 16-year-olds like or have you ever done this on a 16-year-old before? And he says, you're not the first one today. So I thought that was like
Yeah,
a really nice sentiment, especially now.
I know. No, I remember that line. You're right. I think that was really good. I think obviously with that coming out much later, they could show or talk about it a lot more. What I did like about Manny's was that she went to Emma's mom, who was really supportive, and then her own mom was like surprisingly like supportive as well, and went with her to the clinic. Yeah.
Yeah, and Manny was probably what, like 14, really?
Mhm.
At that point, 15 maybe.
No, she was 14. She was a freshman.
Yeah, that's insane. So honestly, I would tie them. I don't even know if they're. I mean, Manny did it first, but then Lola, they did it again. But I feel like it was kind of necessary. Like you need to do it again. It's been how long since that one, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also tweeted about this yesterday. Does Claire count as an abortion with her miscarriage?
It depends. I didn't watch that episode, but do they say that like she has to get it removed, or do they say she has to like does she have the option to carry it like all the way through full term?
So I think they say that your body will like get rid of it in like a couple weeks, but we can induce the labor now. And
Okay, so then technically I don't think Claire's was an abortion.
No.
Because if the baby was like, if it was a miscarriage and then they were like, well, if they're like inducing labor, then you're having the baby. Technically.
Well, but wouldn't that be true of any late term abortion?
Then I think, well, there's also like the term of like an ectopic pregnancy where like the baby is like dead inside, and then I don't really know the details, and I don't want to like do this on YouTube. So I don't want to like make anything up. But
yeah,
I don't know, because I saw a lot of people reply and say that it wasn't. So I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, so I wasn't like, I thought that's probably what it was, but yeah, now I'm not sure. I feel like it would be cool if it was, but they didn't say if it was on the show. So I really don't know.
And I feel like they wouldn't hold back from saying it. They don't seem to have an issue, you know, with saying if it was an abortion or not. But if she had a miscarriage, then it wouldn't be an abortion after a miscarriage, I'm pretty sure. But I think she's kind of like her own thing. They just didn't want her to have a baby.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to talk about this for season 14 when we eventually get to it. But the timeline of Claire like makes it so that she couldn't actually bring her baby to term because she would have graduated before she gave birth.
Yeah, which is
so it's like obviously she wasn't going to give birth to the baby because we wouldn't see it.
Okay, so then I might rank that on like lowest effort pregnancy plot line.
Well, so what are the other pregnancies then? So you have Claire, you have Liberty, you have
Mia.
Jenna, you have
Mia
Spike.
has a kid.
Oh yeah, I guess not. Sorry. I'm just thinking of how they show all the different like options. So one of them is that she's kept her.
But
Yeah.
we can hang on to her because she's probably closest to what like Dallas would represent, and it would just be like having a kid.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Dallas.
Because we don't see Mia's pregnancy.
Yeah, so then Liberty and Jenna. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If we're not counting the false.
No. I mean,
ones,
that could be its own category.
The whole other one, yeah. So I did actually, not that I'm like a huge fan of Jenna, but I did enjoy that storyline, how they kind of showed the realities of it, of trying to raise a baby while being in high school, and she's stuck at home and she kind of goes a bit like crazy because of that, understandably, and I just thought that was really interesting to see. Whereas I know we're not talking about her, but Mia, like sometimes I just felt like it was a bit unrealistic that her mom was just like, oh yeah, go do all your modeling and everything, and I'll be happy to take care of your kid.
Yeah, I agree. Jenna's is my favorite. Like, I know people tend to not like Liberty's. I don't know how you feel about Liberty's, but Liberty's is like, it's all from JT's perspective, so not too great. But Jenna's is like it goes for like 2 seasons, is her whole pregnancy thing. Pregnancy plus raising the baby till she gives it up for adoption. So I thought it was like really good. Like, especially one of my favorite episodes is the one where Jenna falls in love with Sav because she's hormonal as fuck. That's one of my favorite episodes because it's just so hysterical with how crazy Jenna gets. She's like, she's convinced Sav's in love with her, then she like fights Holly J over him, and then she tries and gets Sav and Holly J back together, and she like fakes going into labor.
I think Jenna is honestly her plot. I liked her pregnancy plot better than Liberty's. As much as I'm like not a huge Jenna fan, like Liberty's, I don't know if you remember from me talking about it, pissed me off. She was just like so irresponsible. Like she knew she was pregnant and she just like chose to ignore it, and it could have been really bad for the baby. And like Jenna didn't choose to ignore her pregnancy, she genuinely didn't know, and then pooped all over everybody.
I can see, like, I kind of see it for Liberty's character, like why she'd be in denial, because she's super smart, whatever, super focused person at school. But they, like you guys said, they didn't like really focus on it from her side enough to justify that. So it did just kind of come off as, it just didn't make, do you know what I mean? Like they didn't give enough kind of details from her point of view. But I can sort of see what they were trying to do, because she's Liberty, like she wants to like be in control and not think about it and just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, Liberty just has like the one episode where she gets drunk because the baby's family is moving away. And that's really it for her.
And that's it. There's also someone wrote in the chat saying, remember Anya's fake pregnancy?
Iconic.
Do we have any other fake pregnancy ones?
Well, I think that Emma faked her pregnancy scare personally.
We talked about this.
Yeah, okay. We talked about this, but I personally think that Emma faked a pregnancy scare to keep Sean away from the military.
Yeah, it felt like it just came out of nowhere. And yeah, because she was like, really didn't want him to go. And then she said, oh, I might be pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will definitely say that out of the two of them, I don't know, because then Anya just like announces over the school announces like, we're not pregnant or whatever. And I was like, you gotta be kidding.
Well, that was so iconic though. Super bummer.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that, I mean, Emma might have been lying, but I think she really wanted it to be true to like keep Sean.
Yeah. Like
Whereas
I think Emma,
Anya did, I guess, the same thing, but like knew it wasn't real.
yeah,
to
Emma was like 2 days late and she's like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. It's gotta be true. I haven't taken a test, but I'm pregnant.
So can I check with Anya's? Maybe I'm mixing it up. Was there not a thing where like Holly J told her to tell
Yes.
Sav she was pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, so he would like drop out of the race or whatever for school
Yes.
president.
But then Anya fell in love with Sav again, of course.
Yeah. as you
Can't
do.
blame her.
I mean, I would say Anya would win by a country mile because that was just, yeah, iconic. I don't know about this is a bit off topic, but definitely like when I rewatch it now when I'm older, like I appreciate Anya so much more because I just think she is wild.
Yeah. Anya is one of my favorite characters.
She like has such growth. Like she is hilarious. She's so funny.
So did you want to talk about Mia and Dallas then? Is that those the only baby related ones left?
Or if you want to count Jonah.
Oh, what
Okay.
happened with him?
In
Jonah
like
doesn't count.
I blocked it out of my memory.
Good,
one of-
because me too.
Well, in one of Jonah's very last episodes, like he'd been on the show for like 3 or 4 years at that point, he just announces, oh, by the way, I have a kid that I never mentioned
Casual.
once.
Yeah, so I would honestly just, he's done. He's out of here. I mean,
Yeah, no.
I do, obviously, like, Mia is the best child one. Like, even though there are some things, you know, where it's like, can her mom really, like, babysit for her? Like, is, you know, her being a model, like, does this, like, make sense in the pregnancy line or the child line? I know Jasper brought up a lot that he was like, they kind of ditch her character where it was like kind of her being a mom, and then like they like went with a completely different route with the model stuff. So then I feel like in that season she kind of becomes like what Dallas is, where it's like there's a kid like sometimes and it's around, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Dallas's
when it's
kid
useful for
isn't
story.
Useful for the story, yes.
Yeah, Dallas's kid isn't even around though.
All I know about Dallas's kid is that it has like a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
But you're missing one very important teen parent.
Could it be Spike by any chance?
Spike obviously
Duh.
wins.
Emma's yeah, of course, you're right. I mean, she raises that kid, and then that kid has its own TV show later on. And
Right?
I know. Is the timing going to work out at all for anybody's kid to be in the reboot?
Does Degrassi ever care about timeline?
Yeah, it's true.
well, Emma's kind of lined up, right?
If she had a kid like right after marrying Spinner.
Oh no, sorry, I meant like Emma being the start of the next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that timeline worked out, but is there? I feel like Jasper, have you done the work for this? Like, is there a child that could be around 13?
So if you consider that 2023 is going to be the time because that's when it airs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would mean the baby would have to be like 2010, 2009, right?
Okay.
So that means, I guess it could work if Emma and Spinner had a kid right after they got married when they're 18, 19.
For Jay and Manny.
Oh my gosh, Jay and Manny's kid. That's true. Honestly, wouldn't put it past them. That could happen.
If they want to completely fuck the timeline, they could do Jack, baby Jack. He would technically be like 20 because he was born in season 3. But
I think the other theory Jasper had, I think, was doing like a sibling of somebody, right? Because didn't you say there was like somebody who had a younger sister, possibly?
Oh, Saad's younger sister.
Yeah, which would like line up.
Well,
Mm.
no, Saad's younger sister would have been, I think, the main girl if next class continued.
Oh, okay. I didn't thought for some reason you were like if they boot it up, reboot it, then it would line up, but never mind.
No, I think a reboot either shouldn't have the main character connected or related to anybody, or it's Jack. I think those are the only two options for me.
No in between. What if it's didn't you say Liberty and JT's kid like comes back
I would
to
hate that.
Degrassi?
I would really hate that.
Yeah, because also they're not like they would have to bring back JT and Liberty, like, and I don't think they
Well,
could.
JT's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
Oops.
Yeah, I think bringing back JT and Liberty's kid would be just fan service. And I don't think I want the philosophy of the Degrassi reboot to be just fan service, because then it kind of loses its kind of core identity of focusing on the next generation of kids, rather than JT and Liberty's kids would be just for us old people who are still obsessed with the show because we can't let go.
Oh, that's okay. That's a good point. I have another like idea for who wore it better. And this one I feel like is pretty obvious, but I figured I would still like put it out there. So I have for love triangles, I have Declan Jane Spinner versus Ashley Craig Manny. And like I know Ashley Craig Manny was just so bad, but Jane did date Declan and Spinner at the same time as well. And then just tried to like forget it and then moved on. So Craig just didn't do it right.
Yeah, I guess when I was
Jane
thinking of
did.
love triangles, I was thinking of like any of the other, like any of the Eli Claire love triangles. There's like 5 of them. But I guess you're right that the only other 2 timing that ever happened was with Jane, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to count when Emma was hooking up with Sean for a minute before breaking up with Peter.
And
Okay.
did Bianca do anything with Drew when he was still with Allie or no?
Ooh.
Well, that was the whole boiler room.
Yeah, but I didn't know if they were like technically together. I've got all the like so many love triangles. I don't think there's any actual 2 timing. Oh, Casey Marisol, Jenna.
Oh, true. I mean, technically, did they actually like hook up?
I think that they hinted at it, like the guys would like talk about it. They never showed it.
Casey and Marisol definitely hooked up. I think it's unclear if they were like a couple or not.
Okay.
Okay, is that what is that how we're defining 2 timing?
I don't know.
They need to like fully date.
Yeah, I guess I would define 2 timing as you have another partner more than just once. So I guess Marisol would probably count. Yeah. Because like
and Casey was with Jenna at the time.
Right.
But so, was this before or after Jenna almost hit him with a guitar?
Casey was cheating before Jenna hit him.
Yeah.
Not saying it's earned, but that was just a chaotic. Like I feel like the Declan Jane Spinner thing is most similar to Craig, Manny, and Ashley in the sense that like Craig knew he was dating both, and Manny knew he was dating Ashley. Where it's like the same with like Jane Spinner were dating, and Declan knew Jane had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So Declan's like the Manny in that situation.
Yeah. So I guess Casey and Marisol and Jenna also kind of fits into that.
Yeah. I felt like Jane and Declan was so random, and it was like, did it make sense that she did that? Yeah. So I mean, again, maybe I'm biased because I started in season 3, but the Craig, Manny, Ashley one like has a special place in my heart. And when he like, Spinner obviously is encouraging him to just go for it. And then Ashley like slaps him on stage, and then Manny also dumps him. I think it's amazing. And then obviously it turns into the greatest like songs that Degrassi has ever produced in the rock and roll high school episode.
Yes. Yeah. Like as much as I hate Craig, like that love triangle is probably the best love triangle of all of them.
And
Because
it
I
went on
actually
for so long.
cared. It's like I feel like most love triangles, they feel kind of forced. Like me and Bridget just talked about how much we love Claire and Drew, but that was obviously forced. Like that wouldn't have happened naturally.
Mhm.
But the like Craig, Ashley, and Manny, like Craig being kind of into both of them kind of made sense.
Yeah, I wrote down like all the other threes I could think of, and some of them, not again, they didn't always like go for it. Like Hazel, Jimmy, and Ellie.
That came to my mind too. That was
And-
a good one. Yeah.
Caitlin, Joey, and Kevin Smith, if we dare speak of that. Bianca, Drew, and Katie, kind of, and Bianca, Drew, and Allie, kind of. And then Maya, Zig, Cam, Maya, Zig, Miles.
Ooh, the Maya Zig Cam one is true. That's a good one. Even though they were technically broken up in that like 1 minute. No, Zig was still dating
Tori.
whatever her name. Tori. That was a good one. Yes. Okay.
And the other one, I think it's an honorable mention, is Craig, Ellie, and Manny, because they do that wedding. They go to that wedding, and Ellie throws a drumstick at Manny's head.
Well, that love triangle continues for a while because that's also a thing in the cocaine episode.
Oh yeah.
I totally forgot that like Ellie is included in that, because even though Craig has a girlfriend, he like is always, oh no, and then doesn't he lead Ellie on to when he's dating that other girl as well?
Yeah, and Degrassi Goes Hollywood.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
All Craig does is lead Ellie on. That's what I'm saying.
And Manny occasionally, but then he goes back to her, and Ashley occasionally. It's just, well, what about, so was there anyone with Ashley? It was Ashley, Jimmy, and wasn't there someone else? Was it Craig then?
She hooked up with Sean when she took ecstasy in season 1, and then that made Jimmy and Sean get into a fight.
There was
Yes,
also in Jimmy and Ashley Revisited, you had Trina, the other
yes.
disabled girl,
Yes,
who
the
actually
love
ends up
of
getting
his life.
engaged to.
Literally so weird, but whatever.
Not a fan of her dreadlocks.
No.
Definitely outdated, I would say. So is that it for love triangles? Because that's actually like a decent amount.
Well, like I said, Claire and Eli have like 5 different love triangles.
Yeah.
You have, if Fitz
Imogen.
counts, Fitz maybe counts. You have Imogen.
No, he does not count. Someone has to like him.
Well, Fitz liked Claire at least. And Eli was jealous.
I think he was just like, it's like Claire and Eli, and then like Fitz is on the outside.
Well, but Eli was so bothered. So I feel like that counts at least a little bit.
All right, I'll let you have this one then.
Okay. And then you also have Imogen, you have Jake, you have Drew, you have Lenore, the girl Eli cheats on her with. You have the gay guy who Claire goes to prom with.
Okay, no, I think a love triangle has to be like not just Claire and Eli dating and then somebody on the outside. Like
Well,
I think somebody in the couple needs to at least like someone.
Yes.
Like Hazel, Ellie, Jimmy. Ellie didn't like Jimmy back, but Jimmy liked Ellie, which then made Hazel jealous.
Well, that's what happened with all of them except for the gay guy one. I was just joking.
I don't count Fitz. I don't think
Okay,
Claire.
okay,
I think
fine.
Claire felt bad for him.
Fine.
And the gay guy, I'm not counting him. Imogen, I'll count. Because what did Eli even like Imogen?
Eli and Imogen hooked up.
Okay. But were him and Claire together?
No.
So I don't think it counts.
Eli was still into Claire.
What do you think? Does it count?
I think it's,
Tiebreaker.
yeah. I think it can, because there were feelings going every which way.
Yeah. And then Jake.
All right, Jasper, fine. You got
So this, like, a more silly one I wrote down when you talked about her dreadlocks, it reminded me, was about like fashion. So like obviously Manny's thong, like which fashion moment. So I put Manny's thongs, the Hell Hath No Fury t-shirts,
Yes.
Katie's bangs when she decided that she was gonna do that. Also, I don't know if you remember, but Emma in like season 1 had dolphin flare jeans that she wore,
Dolphin
which were very intense. I'm sure there's lots more I'm missing. I mean, obviously Manny's thong is the one, but there's lots of good ones in there, I think.
How about like all of Marco's haircuts?
And Spinner.
And hats.
And Spinner.
Oh,
the
Spinner's
hats,
hair, yeah.
Oh God, Spinner's hair was rough all the time.
So one of my unironic favorite looks is Liberty's prom dress.
I like her prom dress.
Yeah, that's one of my.
Why is it ironic?
Unironic, because like Manny, like, I mean, Manny is like, yes, she's killing it, but also it's a little ironic in the sense that it's a meme, you know.
Oh, I didn't know it was like a meme.
Manny's thong is like one of the most memed Degrassi things.
Oh, you mean her prom dress isn't a meme?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, like same with like the dolphin pants. It's like, that's a meme.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a genuinely good outfit, but it's fun to joke about. But Liberty's prom dress, unironically, a sleigh.
Was it red?
Yeah, it was the red prom dress.
That was good.
Purple dragon dress?
With or without the dress.
I honestly, in my vote, like, I know Manny's thong is like iconic, but I'm a big fan of Marco's hats. Like, big fan of all the fedoras and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my favorite.
I'm trying to think of. Oh, he has like kind of a beanie with a little hood. I like that one.
I think there's one where he has like a feather in it. I don't know.
Oh, is that when that's when he comes out to his dad on stage?
It's like, yeah, based on that hat, it's like, that can't be surprising.
Okay, well, another one I thought of when you said Kevin Smith was, who was the best celebrity cameo?
Ooh.
So who are they, like, are we counting when they come to like sing at prom, like Natasha Bedingfield?
That was my thought. She was awesome.
So you have like Natasha Bedingfield, Kevin Smith,
Pete Wentz and his ketchup chips.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I guess
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer.
Oh yeah, who just like falls in love with Sav.
and Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about him. He was like, why was he?
He was funny because he was like all the other ones, they were themselves, but he was just playing like a limo driver, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he definitely asked to be on that show. Like, he definitely was like, hey, can I like be on Degrassi? And they were probably like, yeah, why not?
Well, it was before Hannah Montana, so I don't think he was still famous, of course, but he wasn't like our generation famous yet.
But why would he because he's not even in Canada, so he like went to Canada to go film this. This is so random. Okay, so I don't know, Pete Wentz and his ketchup chips was just so fake. I can't believe the amount of roles that Pete Wentz got. He was also in One Tree Hill for multiple episodes as like a love interest, and he like really cannot act. That man cannot act.
Yeah. The Kiki Palmer one sticks out so much because it's just so crazy that she just that would happen to Sav.
Yeah, I think Kiki Palmer is my favorite.
She was good. She was definitely good.
Yeah, no, Pete Wentz, it felt so, you're right, it felt really forced and like robotic, not good at all.
I think that's why
Just
I like
an
it.
ad for ketchup chips. What about, so Pete Wentz reminds me, like, do you have a favorite either band or song performed by any of the bands? There's a lot.
I feel like, I don't know. It's like I don't love. Oh, you know what it is? Life is a Show. That's my favorite one. Any day. That's my. I feel like anytime either Manny or Jane sings, I'm just like, this is easily the best talent we have on this entire show.
Yeah, there's one that Jane does, but I can't remember the name. It's really good.
House Arrest.
Yes, probably. No, is that the one where they go? Yeah, no. Is there another one?
Jane has a couple.
Oh, she does the schools out. There's like one when the schools, like at the end of the school day, which I thought was really good.
That's what I'm thinking of. And then any Whisper Hug fans?
Okay, this isn't Whisper Hug necessarily, but it is Maya. Maya's Last Exit and Next Class is a very good song. And in the context of the show, like the meaning of the song kind of changes for Maya as she goes through her whole depression thing. So I really like that aspect of the song too.
I don't think I remember that one. Have we seen it yet?
No, it's the last season of Next Class. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't ring a bell, but I'll have to think about it.
But Whisper Hug, their Up in a Cloud song is fun. I don't know if it's a top song of mine, but it's a fun song.
The other one that gets stuck in my head all the time is the Jenna and Sav one. Like, goodbye, white horse.
I feel like that would be a Taylor Swift song. Like, it really would be.
Well, Taylor Swift does have a White Horse song.
I think that's why I'm like, it makes sense.
And I like the Craig song when he's like leaving. I think when he like leaves the show and goes off.
Oh, with Ellie.
The song he wrote for Ellie.
Yeah.
That one's so good. That one's good. And then obviously, what is the like song that they sing in junior, like senior high episodes?
Oh, everybody
everybody wants. My God, it was literally the worst. All they did was play that same two lines over and over, like every episode.
I mean, is that not true of any high school, middle school band? Like Bridget, we have lots of experience with bands from high school.
Thank God. Shout out to, I don't even remember the name.
Was it the Super Band?
It was the Super. Yeah, so we had friends in middle and high school that had a band and did a lot of covers of like Death Cab for Cutie and maybe wrote their own music. I don't know. We watched them perform in a library. Yeah. So this is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I've got a few other really random ones.
All right, let's do it.
So I had, there's probably other ones, but who did it better being a troubled rich kid? So Miles and Frankie or Fiona and Declan?
Oh, that's a good one.
Does it have to be Miles and Frankie?
Yes, because it's true. Like both of them, because like remember when Frankie was like high key racist? I feel like it probably tied into her wealth.
Yes, but like for me, I would say Miles, yes. Frankie, no. Declan, no. Fiona, yes. It was my vibe.
I think for troubled rich kids, Declan and Fiona are the best because they had that ridiculous incest plot that would not have happened if they didn't have to like spend every second of their life together because they're wealthy and go and travel and blah blah. Like
Well, but
Miles and Frankie. What?
Well, that's like more Fiona being troubled than Declan being troubled, you know?
I
Mm.
mean, like Declan had no issue hooking up with a girl that had a boyfriend. Like he had no issue like throwing parties. Like he pretty much used his money as to like gain popularity. Like nobody would have liked him if he wasn't rich.
Well, yeah, that's because he's an entitled prick.
And that's why I think
Yeah.
he
But
is
I don't
the
think he's
best. Like,
trouble. I don't think he's
well, I
trouble,
think like
though.
for the rich, but for the rich aspect, like Miles and Frankie
Okay.
you wouldn't know that they have money.
If you
we
just
didn't,
say which is the best rich kid storyline, but
Okay.
then if you do troubled rich kids, I would agree with you that I think Fiona is like the best one.
yes.
But if you have, and Miles, I think that's with both Miles and Fiona, those storylines, yeah, go on like for a long time and they lead on to many different things. So they're done well.
Yeah. But I guess if we're going from the lens of entitled rich kid, Declan by a mile.
Yeah.
That was a good pair up
Yeah.
there. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, one I just thought of was who had the best 5-minute drug addiction.
Okay, so Anya with Coke, Peter and meth. They kind of tried to, did they try and make Spinner with his weed for cancer, which was like, so yeah. I don't know if we should count that.
Miles was also on pills for a second. Same with Katie.
Zoe, possibly. We heard about it, but we didn't see it.
Yes.
And JT, he overdosed.
True.
Eli with MDMA.
Oh my gosh, we got a lot. There's a lot to pick from. But I will say, like, it's got to be Peter. It's got to be Peter and meth.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
it's like a lot. Oh, and maybe you guys have talked about this, but the pot ones are so interesting because it's like what with like Jake and Eli as well. I don't think they ever tried to make it that it was bad that Jake was doing it, but they kind of did for Spinner.
Yeah, Jake was more of like a pothead. Like that was just kind of,
and they didn't like put any morals around it, I guess. Yeah.
I have a good one that I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think. Blackmailing nudes, Peter Manny versus Allie Johnny.
Or Zoe Frankie.
Zoe Frankie. So I mean, I think in my opinion it's Allie and Johnny is the worst because they were like genuinely in a relationship. So that was pretty fucked. That was a bad one. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was I would agree. The Manny Peter one though, I guess it did it not kind of drive several storylines from that? Like Manny and Craig got back together and then
True.
Emma and Peter started dating basically because of that in a roundabout way.
Yeah. Although for me, like Bridget, I don't know if you've watched season 14 yet, but Degrassi News is very fresh in my mind right now. So I just hate Zoe, right? Like at this moment in time, I just have a burning hatred for Zoe.
Good, as
Like,
you should.
So maybe just it's the recency bias for me, but for me, it's like Zoe blackmailing an entire group of girls to sell their nudes.
That's pretty bad. That's a bad one.
It's a good question. I think they're all bad.
Yeah.
Is ranking the worst of a bad bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also had that one in my list. I also I don't know if there's anything, and maybe Jasper you'll know better from like remembering the later seasons, but are there characters that you feel are like clearly meant to be the next iteration of a certain character, like Zig kind of was the new Sean kind of thing, or I don't know if Maya is kind of like Emma then.
Yeah.
Holly, Jay, and Paige.
Yeah, I would even say like Allie and Manny were pretty similar. Because like you could say Claire could probably be the next Emma, like in that sense.
I'd say Claire's like a combination of Emma and Liberty.
Yeah, that definitely.
And also
makes
Ellie a
sense.
little bit with the journalism thing.
Oh, that was on my list. Journalism, who did it better, Claire or Ellie? I think Ellie did. Claire's was kind of like random.
Yeah, Claire was always into writing, but she was only into journalism for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I like Claire is my least favorite person in the entire Degrassi
Really?
world, but I don't know. I think it's because she's in the most episodes, she's everywhere, and they just give her so much stuff.
True.
And she is so like, I don't know what the right word is. She takes everything so seriously. Like I think they've given her like 1 or 2 kind of funny, lighthearted storylines, and they feel so forced and fake. And I'm just always like, oh, Claire, like, come on. So anytime she's in one of these questions, I just,
Yeah.
but that's my bias.
No, that's pretty fair. We talked about it, I feel like in 13. She just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I just feel like she'd be an annoying friend as well. And what was the season that she was just awful in? And I think they called her out on it, but she was just like so self-absorbed and rude, and everything is just always like so serious in the end of the world.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a lot of her seasons, but I think especially season 11.
Definitely then. Okay, does everybody want to do like one more idea? I can go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think my last one is gonna be like shotgun weddings, and it would be like Drew and Bianca's versus Emma and Spinner's. Because like I know Emma and Spinner's was super random, but Drew and Bianca should not have been married. So.
And he sang that song, didn't he? It was awful.
Oh
That was
God,
so cute though. I really like that.
Jasper, it was so bad.
It was cute. Listen, if a boy sang to me in Vegas, I would marry him too.
Okay. Well, they both had Vegas weddings. So I think out of the two, I will say like Drew and Bianca did it better.
Well, Drew and Bianca made the correct decision to not get married. So
True.
Yeah, and obviously it felt way less random than Emma and Spinner.
Yes, definitely.
What about Claire's mom and Jake's dad for a shotgun wedding?
Oh my God. Hey, by the way, Claire, marrying your boyfriend's dad.
What did Snake and Spike? They got married when she was pregnant. Is that a shotgun wedding?
That's true.
Well, they were engaged before they knew that she was pregnant.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It was more of a forced, moved up wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one's mine.
Okay, I'm just because I'm sure you guys like talked about this recently, so I'll skip over because there's a teacher student one, but you guys talked about that before. So another one I had was the mean girl redemption stories, like Paige and Holly J, Bianca, and I guess they did it with Zoe. But it's again, I feel like maybe you've already talked about it, but where they feel like they need something awful to happen to the mean girls so that you then root for them, which is
I think my favorite one has to be like Bianca. Like it's just crazy. I think that's my favorite.
I'd say probably Paige for me, because like Bianca had good growth, but it was all off screen.
Yeah.
That's
Paige.
fair.
Paige is good, but then they just ruined her in the movie when she just all of a sudden did a 180, which was so unfair to her, I think. But before then,
I still think Paige's 180 makes sense, and I'll stand by it.
So then what's yours? Who's your Paige?
Yeah, I said Paige.
Oh, sorry. No, I meant is both of yours Paige?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay, I'm outnumbered. That's fair.
Yeah, Holly J's is good too. Zoe's is awful.
Zoe's is not. She is not good.
Also, underdog for Marisol. I just got to shout out my girl Marisol.
Whatever.
The most like ridiculous, one of the most ridiculous storylines ever is when she thought that Mo was doing like drugs because she found his diabetes stuff.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I really like that storyline because remember, Katie was on drugs and that kind of fucked up Marisol for a bit. So it kind of makes sense that she would be a little paranoid about it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But he's not shooting up at school. Like, come
People
on.
should know that.
Yeah, I guess, but also if they've been together, like, sure, well, whatever. I guess she didn't know that Katie, yeah. You would think you would be able to tell if it was that severe that they had needles at school.
That's funny.
Oh, what should the last one be?
I'm looking at my list. I feel like we pretty much got, I guess, like, I don't know. The only other one I have is Eli writing a play about his love life, and then Miles also writing a play about his love life.
And Winston.
Oh my god.
Was Winston a superhero one?
Yeah, Winston did the superhero thing about Frankie.
I forgot about that.
Which play had Peter and Jenna in it?
Oh, that was the Space Awakening. But Declan and Jane wrote that, but it wasn't like about actual people.
I liked it though. That one was okay.
And there was Dracula, where Emma got the social disease.
Yeah, that has to be your top one.
But I guess in terms of student written plays, if we're going to do Eli, Winston, Miles, I would say Miles. Just because he was so not subtle about it. It's like he cast himself as the main character and he cast Lola as the girl he cheats on his boyfriend with.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, I wonder what happened here.
It's like, and then he was like, hey, why don't you like come and see my show, Tristan?
Right?
Oh, bad.
Like Eli's was entertaining though, that he kept rewriting it.
Yeah, that was, well, because wasn't he was like on meds and then off meds and then just like a mess.
Yes.
Yeah. Because of Imogen, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Imogen.
Yeah. The only other ones I've got are teacher ones we talked about, like best friend breakups. Businesses like Holly J's babysitting and Spinner and Jimmy t-shirts. Yeah, that's all.
Ooh, best friend breakups though. I feel like it has to go to Emma and Manny, but I could be convinced otherwise.
So I've got Emma and Manny. Jimmy and Spinner is pretty intense, I think.
That's a good one.
Oh yes, that too.
Yeah.
When he's like says that you're already dead to me. Tristan and Maya, I guess.
Oh, that one was good. And I was thinking Holly J and Anya too.
But Holly J and Anya never actually broke up, really.
I mean, like, they like stopped being friends after a while. Because then Anya becomes friends with like Riley and Owen and whatever.
Oh God.
But did Claire and Allie have like a breakup and then get back together?
Yes, when Claire was being self-absorbed about dating her stepbrother, and then Allie kissed her stepbrother. So she's like, Allie, you're a bitch.
Mm-hmm. And then is that that's Allie and Jenna go off and are better friends? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was another thing I was thinking of when we talked about Peter. I was like, oh, Jenna moved in with Allie. So why didn't Peter move in with like anybody? Why did you have to live alone?
Mm.
Well, because Peter didn't have any friends except his girlfriends at the time.
He was,
And then like he slowly made some friends and then did math and ruined those friendships. So
it happens.
but I will say I think Emma and Manny's friendship breakups like are the best ones.
I feel like none of their breakups are ever long-lived though. Like they make up pretty quickly most of the time.
That's why they're the best in my opinion, because that's like such a good representation for like how friendships actually work in high school.
I think theirs feels like they're really good friends and they're very up and down, but I do think the Spinner and Jimmy one was so like such a big one because they were best friends, except for that little blip when Spinner stole his iPod. But other than that, they were like best friends, and obviously it was like a huge, big falling out that lasted a long time and had like it led Spinner on to like so everything else that happened to him basically in meeting Darcy and all of that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yes, that's probably the most impactful friendship breakup, I guess. Getting your friend shot for sure.
Getting your friend shot.
Oh.
I guess Drew got Adam shot inadvertently.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we could throw those in a category if you want.
Getting your friend shot.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Final thoughts? Any other ones? We're good.
We're gonna need to do another one of these for the reboot to talk about the next generation of all of these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna be like, wow, remember when that happened?
Oh, yeah, nothing else from me for my list.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Leah, for joining us. This is so fun.
Thank you guys for having me and letting me join and just talk all things Degrassi for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for staying up.
Oh yeah, it's like 3 a.m. for you now, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Trooper, whatever it
Yeah.
takes, right?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. So if anybody is actually watching this, we only had one person in the chat, so thank you to Biggest Gym Fan for joining us, as well as anybody else who might have been lurking. We'll probably be back soon with season 14. So that's exciting. I finished watching it last week, I think. Bridget, I don't know if it started yet.
I can start this week. I'm on summer vacation, so I'll start it up.
Yes. So thank you, Leah, for joining us. Hopefully you can come back soon.
Yeah, thank you.